Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on, what is this, September 2nd. Wow. Tuesday, 2025. That's after 6:15 p.m. Central Time. Interesting day. It's like the A-League traders got back to their desks around the world and they sold everything. The DAX went down, the S&P, the Russell, everything went down today. It's like traders said, you overdid it in August, pull back now. Well, maybe. We'll find out. September is one of the worst 3 months of the year for gains in the stock indices. But they said that of August too, and didn't we make new all-time highs in a number of the indices? So you know what history says, but you know what the markets are doing. Now there's a lot to digest. President Trump, everything he does gets challenged in a court. You get some lower courts and appeal courts that do one thing, it goes to the Supreme Court and a whole different thing happens. Now the tariffs, as you know, are all under attack. So let's assume they fail. Let's assume the Supreme Court, which I don't think they will, would say the president doesn't have the right to put on these tariffs the way that he has. How do you give the money back? Who does it go to? You can't track it. It's almost impossible. I don't know what kind of mess they'd get themselves into there. See, the National Guard, I live in Chicago, they say they're coming here, and everybody's got a different opinion. I'm one of the guys that says welcome. And the reason I say it, Chicago, Labor Day weekend, 54 shootings, not shooting incidents, shootings. This morning I wake up, the highways, I caught the news, an hour and a half delay, shootings. All right, so I realize everybody says, no, crime's down. Not if you're the one being shot. What can I say? But I'll let the other places do that. And the courts are saying that isn't legal, what they did in L.A. So the Trump attorneys will go back and fight that. This is all part and parcel as to why the gold market's hitting 3,600. There's total uncertainty as to what is going on. And if you don't believe that, you're in your own world. That's part of what is going on. On the energy markets, I get people asking me, why do you think energy is going up? And I give one word. I think it's only a question of time until the fiddler, which is Putin, gets turned off by the audience, which is Trump. What day does it happen? That's all I'm looking for. I'm surprised it's going on this long. He normally, and he being Trump, isn't this patient. I think he's being played like a fiddler playing him. Bonds and notes, we saw lots of yields, especially long-term, go shooting up after the holiday today. I don't care if it's in France, Italy, the United States, Great Britain. It's everywhere. The long-term rates taking off. There's total uncertainty. Not many rate cuts are expected on this round coming up. And remember, we have one coming up, and we have more data with jobs coming up right in front of you. But before I get there, I want to remind you that summer is winding down. We were going to stop our sale last night at midnight. I called up, told the IT department, go until Thursday. We're getting people still buying at a good clip. Let's let them finish up. IraEpstein.com. Any of my research products, 3 months or 1 year, that's the only way you can buy them, one of the two. 1/3 off. My full charting course, 1/3 off. And then the courses that explain even more after that are the Bollinger Band course and the Outside Day courses. There's 2 of those, both 1/3 off. You get the research, you get my morning videos with them. You get everything we've got while you're taking those courses as well. And I think you'll find that worth your time and effort. But you decide. IraEpstein.com. There'll be cursors up here. You can give that a click as well. So let's come in. Maybe we should look at the news first thing, and I'll do that right now with you. In the news, let me get the right way here. I was doing it wrong. Redbook retail sales. They've been running 6.5%, but a lot of that was the kids going back to school. They're back. So that buying is over. We'll see if it ended August 30th or it was still going. Factory orders will come out at 9 o'clock, and that's for July. And then you're going to get the all-important JOLTS order at 9 in the morning. And everybody's going to watch everything with labor. ADP, the Challenger Gray this week, and the U.S. jobs report. And from there, the market's going to make a big decision right away. Cut or no cut. I think it's the jobs that'll set the tone, not the CPI or PPI, which could come in even higher. But I'm convinced the Fed's going to let that run no matter what the number. These are the numbers that I'll be looking at. Then there was a win today for Google. The reason I mention it, it's kicked up certain stock indices. You can read that here by just hitting, if you will, pause. You can read it, but it was a neat win for them. They do not have to diversify their Chrome browser, and that's a big, big win. They have to share data from it. So what? Now they just have to make the product super great and people won't abandon it. That's been the big fear. Will ChatGPT and others replace it? I don't know. We'll find out over time. So let's come back, if we could, together, and let me see if I can get the chart to come up right here. Yeah, it was one shy. All right, so let's go. On the S&P, you're starting the week off down 0.5 percentage point. You can see the pullback here. There's no real damage. The market went up, made a new high just slightly, and has pulled back in the past 3 days. You can see how you now have a higher high, lower low pattern. You're continuing to fight the 18-day average of closes void of a trend. A trend would be, and just take a look at this, you have a higher high and a lower low. A downtrend would be lower highs, lower lows. You don't have that, and you're just stuck at that 18-day average. You drop today to the Bollinger Band, and if you take my course, you learn that 95% of the time, that's where the market stops. They stay within the bands. Only 5% of the time does this market close outside of them. Just look for yourself and you get a pretty good idea of what goes on here. Next, momentum has turned down in the market. So you have momentum down. Early evening, you got bias down because you're under the 18-week average, void of a trend, with support in the 63.84 area. In the NASDAQ, you also went back to the Bollinger Band, broke the uptrend, didn't get back to the upper band at all in the past week and a half or so. Dow's breaking, current tense, present tense, to the 18-day average of 45,108, and it lost its upside momentum, as is maybe the Russell. The Russell needs a good gain tonight for it not to lose its embedded reading. It did not lose it on the close, so this is market fighting to see can it keep going up. There's so many people trying to pick bottoms in the Russell stocks. We'll see if they continue doing that. In the DAX, all you had to take a look today is at what interest rates were doing in Europe long term, and DAX got hit just like the U.S. stocks did. As you can see in the 10-year notes, while the market broke back today, it found support at the 18-day average, and the trend of this market remains to the upside. The 2-year notes went to the upper Bollinger Band last week, even tried it again today and just missed it, and then it got pulled down with all the other interest rate sectors. In the dollar, you're stuck in the narrowness of this Bollinger Band. It's so narrow, it's going to break out one way or the other. We at the Linn Group use a tool called price counts. It is still pointing to higher prices right now. We'll see if the first count is met. It's got a high probability of meeting that. In the euro, the market trying to break down to the lower Bollinger Band. Remember, they flip-flop on each other. In the pound, getting hit hard. There's questions if Ms. Reeves, the chancellor, is going to have a job shortly. A lot of talk I'm hearing that she may be out soon. That people don't like the budget, they don't like what's going on with spending. There's lots of things negative at this point. France is the same thing, by the way. They're saying come next Monday that the government will fail and that the current prime minister will be out and there'll have to either be a new one appointed by Macron or there'll have to be another election called. In Bitcoin, we went back down to the Bollinger Band, got a bounce, and the market not acting right now like it wants to continue on this trajectory down in a big way. But it did get back to the 108,000. That's a $17,000 drop from that high that it made just, over 2 weeks ago? That's a heck of a drop. When we look at the crude, it's still running at the upper Bollinger Band, still in an uptrend, is overbought. In the WTI, same thing. Up to the key resistance areas, overbought. Gasoline, a tear to the upside. And again, I'm going to repeat, a lot of this has to do wondering, is Trump going to hit Russia with tariffs? Who makes up the oil? How's that going to be? OPEC meets this coming weekend, but it's widely expected they're just going to sit tight right now and let the market try to get back in balance and absorb that last 547,000 barrels a day that was authorized to come out in the month of September. Nat gas acting like it wants to bottom out here. I didn't say it has bottomed, but it's acting like it wants to. It's trying it right now. Huge outside day today to the upside. As long as that low's not taken out, assume that the market's seen the worst of pricing until that happens. All right, remember, just click the icon up here if you want to take advantage of our sale. With that, I'm Ira Epstein. I'll catch up with you all first thing in the morning and in the other videos tonight. Have a great evening.